Hi there. Welcome to this demonstration of UNLV Folio. My name is Dave Schwartz. I am the Virgil to your Dante as you explore the underworld of faculty reporting and evaluation tools at UNLV. Let's get started very quickly by logging in. Well, what you do is you Google UNLV Folio, find the UNLV Folio page, and you log right in by clicking the big red rectangle that says logins. Let's do that. You will then be prompted for your ACE credentials, which you put in here, and you log in. Now, the first time you log in, you will get a screen asking you to accept the terms and conditions and the user license agreement. I haven't read it myself, but I've accepted it and nothing terrible has happened to me yet, so I think you're safe. When you log in, you'll see if you have any action items, they'll be here. Let's ignore that for now, though. Let's look at Faculty 180, which is this module. There's two main modules here in Folio, Faculty 180 and Review, Promotion, and Tenure. We're going to focus on Faculty 180 in this demo. Okay, we see a lot of stuff here on the left menu, all sorts of things. Three important things that you have to focus on. Everything else, don't even worry about it. 1 profile, 2 activities, 3 Vedas and Biosketches. Let's start with profile. So here is the profile. Profile is mostly static information that you're going to enter once, and you're going to pretty much leave it there. A lot of this information comes from Workday, like the personal information, which is your demographic. They did allow you to put your own picture in here, and as you can see, things might not have been going the best with Folio the day that I uploaded "This is why we can't have nice things" angry cat meme is my photo. Probably should have changed that before doing the demo, but hey, it's live, pal. So you have your information there. If there's an error in this, if your name is wrong, what do? Well, you look at the help box and it says you need to contact the Office of Human Resources so they can help you with that. Okay. Moving on, you have your contact information. First thing that you really can contribute to is your biography. You can add one here. If you already have one, you can edit it with this pencil in general, add to add something. Once it's there, pencil to edit. What I did here is I had something from another website that I copied and pasted in. As you can see, it retains hyperlinks. So if you have hyperlinks for stuff on the information superhighway, and I'm kind of showing my age there, you can add that, and I think this is kind of good. Eventually, not this moment as it's being recorded in September of 2019, but eventually, we will use this information to create your faculty webpage. Okay. Another interesting area that you can edit is the interests and expertise. There's one part that is your teaching, one that is your research. Okay, rest of the stuff is pretty standard. Your degrees, certificates, and diplomas, put your degree history here. If you don't have one here that should be here, you click add. When you click add, I'll show you what happens. You go here, you select what level the degree is, and you add what it is, all kinds of options, so many options. And guess what? If your degree isn't here, let our office know, the Office of Faculty Affairs, and we'll do our best to add it. Okay. Let's go back, okay? And we don't want to do anything here, so we will go cancel. When you work in this, you will probably be doing save and go back most of the time. Now we're doing cancel because we didn't add anything. It always reminds you that changes will be lost. It seems very poetic in a sense. How much has been lost? Well, these changes will be lost, but that's okay. It's not always a loss. Addition by subtraction, I'd like to say. Okay, you also have your non-degree education and training. Here I did this gaming protection seminar many years ago. I threw this in here for who knows what reason. Any professional licensures, okay. I threw one in here. I have a purple belt, so I teach Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu mostly to kids. So I have that information here. You can put whatever you want. And I put that in here because it's not an academic thing, but it is somewhat professional. Current position, current employment, all this stuff goes through Workday. Employment history, you can edit yourself because you can have stuff before UNLV. Tenure and promotion, check this out. It seems to be right about 35 to 40% of the time. So make sure it has all your dates correct, all your information correct. Question I get a lot is, can you grant yourself tenure in this? Answer is you can, but since this doesn't speak to Workday or anybody else, it's not going to affect your salary. and would be the same as you writing on a piece of loose leaf paper, "I'm a tenured professor," and taping it to the front of your door. In other words, not going to mean too much. Okay, graduate faculty is another area. You can edit that. Here's an interesting part of the profile, and we're so close to being done. This went so incredibly quickly. Here we go. Author research for information. If you have any accounts in ORCID, Web of Science, Scopus, Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Academia EDU, any alternate names or any other stuff, are you in the institutional repository? You can put it there. When this creates your web page, which is someday, there will be links to these. This does not integrate your information in here. That's a whole other demo, but this does show you, it'll show in your web page. Okay, last thing is online profile. If you have a professional web page, this is my faculty web page, my LinkedIn, my Twitter, my Facebook page, not my personal account. This is my page, not my profile, and then my website. If you have anything else like that you want to put in here, go ahead and do it. That's cool. Language skills and military experience. You can break the bank and do these, put a lot of time and effort into them. I've not seen them used for anything yet. Okay, so that's profile. Not so bad, right? So we've done profile. Now we're going to go to the place where you're going to spend most of your time, which is activities. Let's click on activities. Take a deep breath. While it refreshes, we have the white screen of hope there. Just because we don't know what's going to display, it could be something wonderful. Optimism, very important in the faculty reporting and evaluation process. Okay, so here we go. Activities is where you are going to enter stuff that changes a lot, where you're going to add things that are constantly changing. They say change is the only constant. Well, this is kind of the proof is in the pudding here. Okay, so first thing you can do, which is up top, which is actually going to be the last thing you're going to do, if you are being evaluated for your annual evaluation, you enter your information here. Okay, as you can see, I have entries for the past couple years here. I'll add a new one right now and show you how it goes. If you're a Fallout New Vegas fan, some of these names might be familiar. I needed some text and I just copied and pasted from the Fallout New Vegas wiki, so that's kind of cool. And incredibly enough, in all the live demos I've done, nobody has mentioned a thing. Okay, so first thing you do is, when does it start? In the timeline of UNLV Folio, also known as the Folio to friends and family, I guess, time is divided into semesters. So I know in Western society, we divide time into 12 months, January through December, and years. Folio, time only exists in semesters. And for the purposes of Folio, the spring semester begins on January 1st, and the fall semester ends on December 31st. So keep that in mind. Even if something happened in the summer, even if it happened before or after the semester officially ended, use spring and fall. And you can do a statement here. Let me just see what, I'm gonna do something with this. Maybe, maybe not. Okay, I could copy and paste some stuff. I'm just going to say, okay, this is my opening statement. It should be 700 words about how great I was this year, and what a good job I did. If I want, I can use subheadings and other formatting fun. I can also add hyperlinks. Now, I'll write this so to make it totally sure. UNLV Folio times out users after a period of time. Period of time, obviously is a period of time. And the thing is, the period of time seems to be variable. Again, keeping with the theme of change is the only constant, and we should always doubt a little bit. Maybe the only thing we doubt is doubt. I don't know. So I would not work in this system. I would work in Word or Google Docs or whatever you like to use. and then copy and paste that in. You have a lot more control over any links you want to add and things like that. I wouldn't worry too much about the formatting, the font and all that. It's probably not going to look great, but it's going to do the job. So once you finish this, and we'll pretend that this is 700 words, go on a little journey of imagination. We can imagine this is 700 words. I save and go back. Okay, and this takes a moment. Again, we have the promise of a field of snow with no footprints in it yet. We can see we have some quests here with Dr. Hildern from Fallout New Vegas. Very classic academic character in a video game. By the way, Fallout New Vegas is probably the only video game that I've ever played where you argue Hegelian dialectics with the main big bad boss. So it's got that going for it. Okay, now, as you'll see, there's 2 slots here for the opening statement, one for annual, one for tenure and promotion. Use this one when you're going up for tenure and promotion so that it doesn't pull every opening statement you've ever done and put that in here. And here's this. Here I have Joshua Graham from the Honest Hearts DLC. Good stuff. Okay, next up. So this stuff you should do at the end of the year. This is where it goes, but it's at the top because it goes at the top of the form. Okay, next thing, if you have gotten any awards or honors, you can add them. Now, I'm going to show you here really quickly how you can organize stuff. You can organize it by the name, first to last, last to first, by the conferring organization, first to last, last to first, by the description, or by the start semester. So here's my latest one. And you see I added on here the UNLV Folio Demo Award when I demonstrated how to do it. We don't have to add another one. You've already seen how to add something. I might show you some more, but we don't have to do that. So this is anything that you get in UNLV or out of UNLV. As you can see, I don't have too many awards to speak of over my career, so whatever. Professional memberships are here. Again, I don't have too many of these. You just add it. To add it, you just say here's when I started. It's ongoing, the name, the description. Anything you see with an asterisk, you must fill out. So if I try to save this here, it will not let me. It will say, I don't like what you're doing. Enter a value for these things. Okay, so let's get out of this. Okay, and we are just moving along. Again, field of snow, no footprints. We could also play White Room by Queen. That should be the bumper music here. Okay, let me go up here. Professional development, if you've done anything, and I have some stuff here, for example, Management Training Academy, UNLV, if you go to any faculty center events, such as one faculty center event about how to integrate iClicker into your classes, throw that in this part here, that goes there. One I made up here, Good Typing Institute for Demo Presenters by the Typists of the World, did this in a live demo. Another one is the MTA, which I'm actually doing, and you have all kinds of information like that. I'm going to show you something interesting. If your accrediting body or professional association has you do credits regularly to keep your certification, we have different lists of things here. And if it's not here, you can do other, and you can also let our office know, and we will add it. And you have to put all kinds of information here, faculty center, UNLV, who organized it. Yes, tell us who you're working with. They do want to know a lot of questions. I'll say that, but I guess that's the purpose of faculty reporting. They have a lot of questions. Okay, next general thing is your workload and reassignment. If you have a reassignment, put it in here. Okay, if you are not in a teaching faculty position, you would fill this out. This is evidence of effective job performance, and there is a section for annual. And when I demoed this, I did lorem ipsum generator. And then for tenure and promotion, which I've not filled out. Okay, now we come to the fun part. But if you are a teaching faculty member, you will not see these fields whatsoever. Now we come to the fun part, schedule teaching. Okay, here's where your classes go. Here's where everything goes. Now let me open this up, my fall 2018 here, to show you how this goes. Some of this information is pulled from my UNLV. So all this information here, term course, everything to enrollment is my UNLV. Course description, my UNLV. Most of this stuff is. Now, these things, whether it's a new prep or not, new format, all this stuff here below class end date is from you. service learning 2. So you would fill this out. Then it picks up again with more information from my UNLV. As you can see, I'm probably not the most rigorous grader, although I like to say I prepare my students for success, and I have clear expectations, so they tend to do well. Now, a really cool thing here is that let's say I wanted to add the syllabus to this class. I do add. I'm not going to go searching through my computer, but I would click choose file. It will let me choose it. And I can say it's a syllabus. I can also add my evaluations that way, or a peer evaluation. Here's the other really cool thing. Let's say I was in performing arts and the capstone for the class was that they did a performance somewhere and there was a YouTube video of that performance floating around. I could add a URL and say this is other, here's what it is, here's the URL. So this really gives you the capability to add a lot of cool stuff to your class file here. So you can add pretty much anything. Okay. Now, how about the course evaluation information? Where does that come from? Good question. If you have Qualtrics, it automatically integrates, it automatically pulls. If you have Blue, if your college uses Blue, it does not. So that is that. And you can put in a summary too if you want. You can do whatever you want with this. Now, if you look at your scheduled teaching and there's classes that you didn't teach that are in there, or there's classes that you did teach that are not, please contact the Office of Faculty Affairs and we can fix it. Good news is that everything in this system is fixable. Okay. Another area here is other teaching and instruction. So let's say you gave a guest lecture in another class at UNLV or for another school, you put that in here. You throw that in here. And what is this? What does this mean? What do we mean by guest lecture, other teaching instruction? I would say this is 4-credit courses, or it could also be non-credit courses taught anywhere at UNLV, any place where people are basically paying or someone is paying for them to be there, and you are the teacher. Okay. Here is how I would break it down. Let's say you make a trip to another university, and in the morning you give a guest lecture in one of the courses, that would go here. In the afternoon, you give a brown bag presentation at the department meeting, that would go in presentations, which is going to be down here in scholarship, right there. And let's say that night you give a talk to the public as part of a lecture series, that would also go in presentations. Okay, let's go back to scheduled teaching. So we've got that other teaching there. Directed student learning, this is where your students go. If you are on a dissertation committee, master's committee, independent study, anything like that, it goes here. Okay. Next area is probably going away. This is the course program and curriculum development because much of this information is already asked for in the scheduled teaching, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that go away. Academic assessment, if your unit does this, you would put this information here. Okay, now we get to the real big area, scholarly and creative work. This is kind of the real, this is what people want. Okay. A lot of different things you can do here. You can do presentations, you can do journal articles, you can add lots of stuff. Let's take a look at this journal article just to walk you through what it looks like. Okay, so here's the fields, everything you have here, and your name. And again, if you can say what kind of citation you want, I'm a Chicago guy, so I'll say Chicago citation. You can add keywords if you want to. Is it fiction? Is it not? As you see, these that are asterisks, I had to fill them out to save this. You can also add a file, so you can upload this as a file or as a URL, whatever you prefer. And you see I already have the URL here. So let's do something here. Let's copy this, copy link address. Let's add the URL down here. Okay, add. And let's save and go back. All right. And that, if you can do this, you've pretty much mastered Folio. Now I want to show you something else, and this will probably be the subject of a whole other demo, which is how do you import stuff from another source? Okay, so when you want to add something new, you can do it manually. So I say, okay, I wrote a book. called How to Do UNLV Folio, or better yet, a memoir of a mid-level administrator who is demoing UNLV Folio for many audiences. I'm sure that would be top of the New York Times bestseller list for sure. So I would do book and then continue, and then I would add all this stuff. However, I can also import from any of these sources, okay? If you don't see your source here, so for example, Google Scholar is not here. What you can do, though, is import from Google Scholar by exporting it as a bibtex. And let's see what happens if we want to do this, if you want to import from this. So you say, whatever, it's bibtex, it's from a file. I'm going to choose the file, you save it, and then it will import it, and you can import multiple records this way. You know, we've seen in our office up to 100 records being imported at once this way. It is glorious to behold, truly glorious. Okay, let's get out of this so you can do that. Also, as another, we'll do another demo with all the import stuff, possibly, but that's there. You can also import from ORCID, but that's another process. Okay, one more thing in scheduled teaching. When stuff imported, not scheduled teaching, in scholarship, when stuff imported from digital measures, if you had stuff in digital measures, for the journal articles, which I don't see one right up there, and I'm not going to search for it, I'll just describe this. Actually, I am going to search for it. Let's see, type. And let's show all the entries. All right, so journal article. Let's see what we have here. Okay, so this says other, so I know it imported from digital measures. So digital measures, which was the previous system we used, had no entry for journal title. There was no field for journal title. Instead, there was a field for publisher. So when this imported into the folio, it didn't have a journal title. So people who exported their Vedas, who did their stuff, there would be no journal name. So the short fix, if you look at your stuff and see this, is you copy here and paste it right here. Boom. And that was already there, so it doesn't matter. Okay, that's the short fix. I'm told that we have in process a fix where it's all going to be done automatically, but if you do get to your activities and you see that you don't have the journal titles, very easy fix. Somewhat tedious, but not that hard. All right, so let us cancel this because I don't want to save that even though I didn't make any changes. That's one last thing with the scheduled teaching, or not the scheduled teaching. Again, that's there, the scholarship. Okay. Next area is grants. Okay, this is where your OSP grants will show up. If there are things that are not correct, if from your perception they aren't correct, please let our office know or OSP know. If you have other grants that aren't through OSP, you can put them here. I did one in the demo where I said I submitted a grant for Silly Walks from the classic Monty Python Ministry of Silly Walks sketch. Was awarded no money, but I did that there. Okay. If you like to talk to the media, you can put that here, and you can put your media contributions here. Don't know exactly what this means. I'm pretty sure this doesn't have much relevance to the tenure decision, but it's good to have. And I don't want to say it doesn't have any relevance, but probably this is the first thing they're looking for, but it is good to track it. Now we get into another fun area, which is service. Okay, if you did service on a committee at UNLV or for the NSHE system, you would put it in here. As you can see, this includes all kinds of committees. Let's see what happens when we add the committee. Okay, let's say this is university level committee, select the semester, all that fun stuff. What am I? Let's say I'm just a member. Whatever, was it self-nominated, elected, or appointed? What level was it at? Slightly duplicative because we already have the level here, but bear with us. Is it shared governance? Yes or no? And then a description of what you did. Okay, now here's the thing. You can select the committee here. So because I have university level, it shows all the university level committees. So if I wanted to say, hey, I was on the UFTC, boom, right there. Okay, let's say I don't want to, let's say my service transcends the university. Let's say for whatever reason I decided I wanted to be in a committee in the College of Education, because that's right there. I'll say, you know, educational psychology and higher education. Okay, well, what committees are here now? Oh, we don't have any right there, although there should be. Generally, there will be committees there, standing committees there. And that's probably something I'm going to fix later today. Okay, and if your unit does not have standing committees in here, please contact the Office of Faculty Affairs and we can certainly add them. As you see, it takes a minute to go back and forth. Thought when I did this, I would be giving you little facts about UNLV, but it's been pretty quick until now. So I'll say, did you know UNLV was founded in 1957? It's a long time ago. Good stuff. We're still waiting. Sometimes you have to wait a while. This system has taught me a good deal about patience. I'll say that. And let me do cancel again, just to see. Yes, let's not do this. All right. And sometimes you just have to be content in life to wait for things. Even if we don't know what's going to happen, we know that we're going to wait. All right, here we go. Again, the field, snow, untrodden, freshly fallen. And here we go, back into this. So in theory, you should have your committee there, standing committees there. Non-standing committees too, like and I see there's a little bit of duplication in here. Non-standing committees, like search committees, you could put those in here too. Okay. Next area is non-committee service. So what is that? So for example, stuff like Nevada Promise Mentoring, I'm part of that. A couple times a year, I'll go out and talk to high school kids about applying to college and going to college. That goes in there. It's service, but it's not a committee. Okay, professional service. If you do anything like review a book manuscript, sit on an editorial board, review journal articles, series editor for a academic press, do all kinds of fun stuff like that, you put it here. Okay. Now, community service. If you are on these community organizations, you put it here. I put these here. Neither Centennial Celebration Commission or the Mob Museum were historical, within the history profession per se, so I didn't put it there. It wasn't like it was the AHA or OAH or an organization like that. So I threw that in here. Okay. And you don't have to have stuff on all of these. If you don't have anything, that's fine. Consulting, if you do consulting, throw that in there. Clinical, if your unit does that, throw it in there. Okay. Now, if you are in the teaching colleges, you also have this other evidence of effective teaching. This will appear further up where your teaching is. And this basically is the form from this is the old faculty annual evaluation form. You fill this out. Adding 1 or 2 paragraphs is what most people find suitable for this. And that's there. And there are separate slots for annual and for tenure. Now, the final thing when you go up for tenure is the synopsis, which is 100 words. This is the blurb. If you're giving a presentation at a conference, this is the blurb they would put in there. So sum your life up in 100 words, your professional life rather. Now, the last thing, which I'm going to do very quickly, is Veda Biosketches. This is here. This is how we generate forms, applications, things like that. Eventually, you may generate applications for sabbatical, for travel, and things like that. Right now, it's pretty limited. Annual achievement, that process isn't really set up yet, but I will show you what the tenure process looks like because that is set up. Okay, so when you open this up, you're going to get this wheel of patience. It's going to go around and around and around. Okay, so that's happening. Then you're going to get your information. Now, the first kind of the rookie mistake here is people scroll down and say, oh my God, this doesn't have all my information. I know that I had other stuff that happened, and where's my other stuff? Oh my God, like my classes aren't here. The system's broken. Answer is you have to set the date range. So let's say I wanted to apply for tenure and I came here in 2014. I would then set the date range, most important thing, refresh the Veda, circle of patience again, almost hypnotic, quite stark in its simplicity. As you can tell, I've been looking at this thing quite a bit in the past couple months, so I've become quite contemplative, if that's how you pronounce that word when I see it. So here we go, wheel, wheel, wheel. And the more information you have, the longer the wheel will turn. Now I scroll down and I see, all of my stuff. So here's all my stuff going back to 2014. Okay, here's something. If you had let's say you have a book that's going to be published, and you put down in the activity that the book is going to be published in spring of 2020, and you have it dated the spring of 2020, it will not show up in this. If you want it to show up, you have to put it in fall of 2019, put the status in press, in process, whatever best describes where it is. And then in 2020, you would add another status as published in 2020. That's how you get stuff to show up. So something that you're working on isn't showing up, check to make sure it's within this date range that you're doing. Okay. This is pretty much it. Once you do this, you can export or share this to, I would suggest PDF or web link. I wouldn't suggest Word, because if you're using it in Folio, it can destabilize it and it makes the viewing experience possibly unpleasant for your reviewers, and you don't want that. So in this quick video, we just went through a lot of the important parts of UNLV Folio. I wish you the best of luck as you continue your UNLV journey and your journey through the folio, and thank you very much.